My name is Dorian. This is SCN Comics. We are starting our coverage of Storm #1. Our story starts off with Storm, who must still have that Wakandan bread. Like, whew, look at how she's living. Look at how she is living. Lord have mercy. And she's going through her different outfits as she wore in the past. She's been a queen of Wakanda. You can definitely see that. She's been the regent of Morocco. She's been an X-Man. She's been an Avenger. We're going to bring this up later on. She's also been called a weather witch. But today in ATL, Georgia, she is just simply Storm. And when you look at the place that she's living in, like, you could tell, man, like, Black Panther is just like, look, I got you. Even though we're not married no more, hell, I'm not even a king no more. But my money is long like train smoke. So I got you. Now, she's also interested in running for Congress. And she's about to have a press conference or an announcement outside of her luxurious home in ATL. But before we do that, we got to go back 7 days to Oklahoma City. You see those cooling towers? That means that facility is nuclear. You see that big old ball of light? That's an explosion. That means what just happened there was a nuclear explosion. Now, besides the blast, what's the one thing you got to worry about when it comes to nuclear explosion? That's right, radiation. And Storm and Frenzy show up just in normal clothes. Now, I know that this is probably a part of the story, and this makes a more interesting story, but you're not going to tell me that somebody who has been X-Man, has been Avenger, has been Queen of Wakanda, you're not going to tell me that she didn't have access to some kind of suit that would have protected her from the radiation when she has a house that floats above the city. Like, you can't tell me that. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like she should have had time to put on the suit to protect herself because she understands that this was a nuclear explosion, or she just needed to react because that's just what she does, and the faster she reacts, the faster she can save people? Let me know in the comments. Now, first thing, as soon as I saw Frenzy, I'm like, oh, time I thought she was on X Factor. She'll bring it up later, so it's not like she's not acting like she's not on X Factor. But they're there to perform what Storm says, miracles. So Storm's like, the streets are empty, the people must be trapped. That's when Frenzy brings up she can call her X Factor teammates, but then all of a sudden, a shockwave comes at them. And the only way to combat that shockwave is with another shockwave that Storm produces. So Storm and Frenzy find some people that are trapped in the rubble. And while all that's going on, Storm is still combating the shockwave with her own shockwaves. But Frenzy picks up some rubble and she finds a guy wearing an Orchis shirt. And at first she's like, oh, Orchis, huh? And Storm's like, look, we help everybody, Orchis included. And that's what continues to happen. Storm and Frenzy finds people in the rubble and Storm stops the shockwaves. But then Frenzy yells, Storm! And this shockwave is just a bit bigger than the other one. And Storm has to do what she needs to do to stop it. But as that's going on, a piece of shrapnel comes and catches her right in the shoulder, the chest area. And it's a pretty bad, pretty deep wound because when she pulls it out, I mean, there's blood coming from her mouth, so it hits something vital. So she uses her powers and she somehow closes the wound, or at least stops the bleeding. And then Frenzy's like, we need to get you some medical attention. And Storm's like, nah, I need to go to the source and stop these shockwaves. As she uses her lightning and she disappears. So as Storm flies there, she can see the dead fish in the lakes, and you can tell there's a whole bunch of radiation here. Now she tries to make it snow to kind of calm down the nuclear fallout, but I mean, it's only going to do but so much. So all of a sudden there's another shockwave that comes out of nowhere. It catches Storm off guard. It's headed right for the townspeople, and Frenzy has to pull off her best Incredible Hulk impression, and she does a thunderclap to stop it. So now Storm is starting to throw up because she is showing all kinds of signs of radiation poisoning. She picks up a metal door to try to help protect her from the radiation because she's headed straight for the core. And what's at the core? What's always at the core of these stories? It's a mutant. It's always a mutant. A mutant child, to be exact. And they're like, I'm sorry, I can't stop myself. So Storm is using the door to try to protect herself as not doing much, if it's not even doing anything at all. And the child is like, kill me. And then Storm goes, rolls the door, grabs the child, and goes, enough lives have been lost today. So 3 days later, we see this big old, to me, look like a celestial head, but I don't think it's a celestial head, but it's an alien head at the center of this nuclear facility. And everybody, for once, this is a rare occasion, is blaming aliens for what happened and not the mutants. They're actually praising the mutants for coming to help, and that if their mutant friends weren't there to protect them, then they might be up shit's creek. So Iron Man shows up. He's like, I ran all the numbers, I scanned the whole area. It was doing some cutting edge stuff. Like, I'd have loved to talk to them, but you know, they're dead. And then Storm's like, how many times have you ran the numbers? And Iron Man's like, I don't ask you how you create indoor rain clouds, now do I, Storm? And Storm's like, Tony? He goes, all right. I ran it 866,978,275 times. I even used other machines besides my own, like from Reed Richards, Lunona Lafayette, for those who don't know, that's Moon Girl, Forge, Riri Williams, and even your former sister-in-law, Shuri. And everything is coming back the same. That the explosion wasn't caused by the alien technology this place was using, it was the birth of the new mutant. So Tony's like, what are you gonna do? Storm's like, I don't know. Because now Storm has a choice. She can either stay quiet and let the alien technology take the blame for all this and keep the mutant goodwill going, or she tells the truth and she kills all the goodwill and she puts an even bigger target on mutants' backs. So now we cut back to Atlanta, Georgia, where we have Storm. She's standing at the podium. She coughs, and now there's blood on her hands because she should be taking care of that radiation poison, but she's not. And she goes, I am Storm, mistress of the element. And she lets everybody know, and everybody's watching, like the Uncanny X-Men in New Orleans, the Avengers at Avengers headquarters, there's in outer space. And she lets everybody know that, yes, it was a mutant that caused the explosion. So, of course, everybody in the crowd's now all pissed off. The X-Men are like, we already didn't have enough to deal with. Now there's this. The Avengers are the Avengers, kind of impartial. And everybody at that press conference dipped out on Storm. But I want to ask you a question. She's running for Congress, so she wants to be a politician. And she did what most politicians don't do. She told the truth. Do you want your politicians to tell you the truth, or do you want them to lie to you? What if the greater good is for them to lie? Do you want the greater good, or do you want the truth? Let me know in the comments. So we know that Storm's dealing with the radiation poisoning. On the last page, we see that probably won't be a problem because a cosmic entity is interested in Storm. But not just any cosmic entity, it's Eternity. Eternity wants something to do with Storm. I can't wait to find out what that is. Earth's mightiest mutant has 24 hours to live. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Storm with number 2. Our story starts off in Lagos, Nigeria. Hope I pronounced that right. And like I said in the beginning, she has 24 hours left. And we have this ship that's trying to warn these pirates to stay away or else. And the dude that's leading the pirates is a dude that wants or else. He's like, my wife said worse things to me. Now, she's in my house, cooking my bloody food and keeping my bed warm. And before the night's over, he'll be begging me to take you too. Are you One Piece fans? That dude got the Conqueror's hockey. And while he was saying that, they shot a missile at the ship. And it hit. And then we see Storm, where she's most comfortable, in the sky. She's flying towards the ship. She's freezing the ocean water as she skates on it. And she's doing what she does best, even though she only has 24 hours to live. And mind you, she doesn't know she has 24 hours to live. This is our information. But she knows she's sick. She knows she doesn't have a lot of time left. But she's still going to do what she does. And that's save lives. And the dude that has a Conqueror's hockey, well, he meets the Marvel version of Luffy. As Storm puts 2 boots right into his chest. And his crew got lit up like some Christmas lights. So Storm lands on the deck of the ship. She's coughing, like badly. one of the crewmates grabs a water bag, but then the captain like stops him. And the captain's like, thanks for saving us because you would have died. So it's the least you can do is thank her. Then he's like, but we need you off the ship because we don't want you accidentally igniting our fuel or anything like that. Like, just hating on Storm after she just saved his life, you know, because she's pretty much getting blamed for what happened in Oklahoma, you know. Again, that was not her fault. So she got blood all over her sleeve and her hand, and the captain's pretty much telling her to get her mutant ass right up on out of here. So she just shakes it off, which me personally, I'd have lit that mother up. But she goes back to her palatial home in Atlanta. Like, you can't tell me that ain't Wakanda bread. Like, that is Wakanda bread. She might not be the queen no more, but she still got the residuals. She cleans out her aquarium, which is so big she got to put on a diving suit. She feeds a baby hippo. She feeds a mommy or daddy hippo. She also feeds some capybaras. My daughters love capybaras. She takes a shower, and in that shower, she sees that her hair's starting to fall out. She has 10 hours left. So she goes to this junkyard, and this dude's like, hold on, do you got an ID or do you have an appointment note? He's like, you look like one of those X-Men. She goes, I'm sorry, I can't find my card, but I'm an Avenger. She finally finds the card, she hands it to him. He goes, huh, you are Avenger. Right this way, madam. And she goes, but the gates are locked. He goes, just keep going, doesn't matter. The junkyard's an illusion. As she walks right through. It's an unknown location in Arkansas. It's called the Night and Day Hospital for the Extra Mundane. So then the doctor walks in and he's all telling her this and that, so on and so forth. Then he finally looks up and he sees her and he's like, oh, you're X-Men. She goes, I'm an Avenger, but I was the X-Men leader. And he goes, we don't treat X-Men. And she's like, that sounds like discrimination, which after what she just went through on the ship, I'd have lit this mother up too. And this punk ass got the nerve to say that, no, we don't discriminate against mutants. 80% of my patients are actually mutants, and we treat them for free. We just don't treat X-Men. We discriminate on them. This arrogant motherfucker would have got fried messing with me, boy. Like, I lit this motherfucker up like the 4th of July. So then this greedy son explains how when him and Night Nurse started this hospital, that he would get donations from the Avengers. Obviously, Tony Stark's a billionaire. He would get donations from the Fantastic Four. He would get donations from Doctor Strange and even Moon Knight with his cheap butt. He's also a billionaire. He would kick in too. But when it comes to X-Men, he would get nothing. Which is crazy because, like, Professor Xavier is a billionaire. Emma Frost is a billionaire. Archangel is a billionaire. Like, they got some bread around there. Like, they ain't broke. Trust me. And considering how Storm is living, she ain't broke either. But she takes off her brooch, I think it is. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she takes it off her neck. Says it belonged to my mother. Hands it to the doctor. Now all of a sudden, the doctor's like, oh, now he treat X-Men. Again, I'd have fricasseed his ass. Now, the best part about this whole situation is this dude's a mutant. Like, this dude was on Krakoa. But what the hell do you need a doctor on Krakoa? So he left. So a lot of this is just spite, which, again, I'd have fricasseed this dude. But he also is like the mutant version of Dr. House because he has no bedside manners whatsoever. He's barely talking to Storm. And all of a sudden he goes, oh yeah, by the way, I can't really treat you because you're too far gone. But I'm going to refer you to a person who can help you. Oh, and you got 6 hours left. If I'm Storm, as I was leaving, I'd have lit his ass up like a Christmas tree. So she's flying to wherever she got to go. All of a sudden, there's this lightning strike that hits her. And then this, like, whale comes out of nowhere. It looks like a killer whale. Hits her down. She's falling. And she's in, like, this unknown location around, like, Haiti. There's only, like, 10 minutes left. She stops herself from falling. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Voodoo comes out of nowhere and goes, hello, Storm. I will be attending you this fine evening. And I've been like, look, I've been hated on twice in a 24-hour period. There will not be a third, or I will light your ass up. Are these the last days of Storm? Well, if they are, it looks like she's going to go spend time with her family. her ex-family. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Storm with number 3. Our story takes place in Haiti, where Dr. Voodoo is consulting with Storm. He can see all these death butterflies that are around her because she has all the radiation. So he begins his treatment. And the treatment seems to be a success. To the point to where he says, at this moment, you are the healthiest person in the universe. But yet and still, these death butterflies are still around you. So he pretty much says that these death butterflies know something that I don't. So I advise you that you do not use your powers for the next 7 days, which I know is going to be hard for you. And the Storm has to remind him, like, look, there was a time where I had to go years without using my powers. I think I can go 7 days. So he's like, all right, you got somewhere to go? And she goes, I do. So now we cut to Louisiana. All of a sudden we see Wolverine go, and all of a sudden you hear a snitch, and he goes, it can't be Nimrod. Nightcrawler bams right next to Gambit, so now he smells like farts. He gets to the treetops and he's like, can't really see anything from here. All of a sudden Rogue takes off. When I mean she takes off, she took off. Breaks the door down and is like, get away from those kids. And then Storm is standing right there, is like, okay, Rogue, don't hurt me. So then Rogue goes and hugs the hell out of Storm. Nightcrawler bams Wolverine and Gambit there, so now they all smell like farts. So then Rogue turns around and goes to Gambit, is like, you're fixing the door. And then Gambit's like, but Logan. And Logan's like, she said you. So then they want to get in the group hug. Wolverine try to sneak off, but then Storm grabs him and brings him in. And then they get right to it. Right to training. Day 2 of our powers. You got Wolverine and you got Storm, and they're sparring together, having fun. Day 3, they're getting a little more serious. There's high knees that have drawn blood, punches to the face. Day 4, there's suplexes and chokeholds. By day 5, they're just having a slugfest. And Wolverine's like, don't get up, Aurora. This isn't training no more. This is going to be a beatdown. And you know the line. I'm the best that is at what I do, and what I do is not very. As she knocks the bejesus out of him, tackles him, gets on top of him, and looks like she's about to deliver a blow. When all of a sudden, she picks him up. They start kissing, and they start getting naked right in that field during a storm. Like a real storm, not the person. And if you're sitting there and you're like, wow, Wolverine clapped them cheeks. This ain't the first time. I don't know what book this was in. All I know is that Wolverine was having relations with somebody. They were hiding underneath the covers because somebody came in and started talking to Wolverine. Once they left, the covers came up and it was Storm. I was like, oh man, that short motherfucker is getting the nose. Oh, I was jealous. I know. Why am I getting jealous of a fictional character? I know. I understand. I totally understand. I'm still jealous. Truth be told, I was more upset for T'Challa because you let that get away to the point to where now you gotta run clapping your ex-wife cheeks. Hope you feel better. Axe, I hope you feel horrible talking about the high priest and old our marriage. You are the high priest. Just gonna let a literal goddess just slip through your fingers. What the hell's wrong with you? I will literally drink her bathwater. Anyway, day 6, they finally make it to a bed when all of a sudden she is visited by this big, huge looking penguin. It is a messenger, and he's saying that God Emperor, God, he loves that God Emperor thing, don't he? The Sorcerer Supreme, Doom, wants to meet with her. Well, technically, she can't use her powers, so she can't just fly there. So it took some convincing, but the messenger agreed that she can ride on his back or its back to go see Mr. God Emperor Sorcerer Supreme Doom. But that she has to dress accordingly. She can't just go on the road. So the first thing out of Rogue's mouth is, you knocking boots with Wolverine? All I was thinking to myself is, H-Town, 1993. All my old heads know what I'm talking about. And Storm's like, yeah, but I don't want everybody to know, so lower your voice. And then she explains the situation, how she needs one of Rogue's dresses, and also too that she has to dip out. So she's kind of like doing a one-night stand on Wolverine, which Wolverine should be used to that. So then Rogue's like, okay, but you can't use your powers, and you're meeting with that guy, with Doom. And then Storm's like, Victor, he's mostly harmless. And Rogue's like, yeah, until he's not. Well, worst case scenario, aim for his eyes. And then we see Storm flying on the messenger bird with death butterflies dead behind them. So the Wolverine wakes up and goes, morning, Rogue. Storm's gone, huh? Then we see Doom. God Emperor Doom. And this is leading up to pretty much one world under Doom. We're covering so much stuff, I don't know if we can cover that. Have you lost your mind? Of course we want to cover that. Like, all day. I just won't sleep. That's all. Just won't sleep. This might be my favorite issue so far. Whew. Starts off slow. Not gonna lie to you guys. Starts off slow. Man, once we get to the middle and the end, whew, number fireworks. And then we get a new character. Grand opening, grand closing, I'm pretty sure. My name is Doran. This is SEM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Storm, number 4. Our story starts off 6 days ago when they showed Dr. Voodoo and he was healing Storm from her radiation poisoning. But see, what he didn't tell Storm is that he couldn't do it by himself. He had to make a deal with an ancient spirit called Egon. And the deal was that she couldn't use her powers for 7 days. But then we cut to Latveria in the present day where Storm is riding Doom's messenger bird to his castle. And then we cut inside the castle where Storm is taking a bath. And then she's putting on some lingerie that Rogue has. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I don't care what anybody says. Storm was good. Storm looks damn good. And that belongs to Rogue. So I know Gambit's like, ooh, she better bring that back. And since Storm doesn't have her powers right now, or can't use her powers right now, Rogue made sure to throw in the lingerie that has 2 throwing knives in the back. And then she comes down in this sexy green dress that Rogue had. And the first thing out of Doom's mouth is, woo, you got on that green dress. You must know what I like. So Doom never gets off his high horse whatsoever for any reason. And he's like, don't even worry about ordering off of a menu. I got you covered. I know what you like. It's coming out now. And then we cut to years ago in Cairo, Egypt, where we have a young Storm giving her daddy the blues. She's like, I think we should wait till mommy gets home so she can do the cooking. Her dad's like, hold on, player. Like, your mama might be a better cook than me, but I ain't bad myself now. But then she goes, but the soup is slimy. And he's like, because that's the okra, baby. Like, taste it. Trust me, you'll like it. So she's still giving her daddy the blues, talking about that's what a bad cook would say. At this point, I'd have been like, girl, we don't eat that damn food. So then she goes, well, I lived a long life. Her dad's like, Aurora, you're 5. And she's like, oh, I'll tell mom I love her. He was like, you could tell her herself when she gets home. Now eat. And then she does. And then he's like, so? And she's like, it's really good. And it became her favorite dish. See, little kids don't know no better. So she eats it up and she asks Doom, how'd you get my father's gumbo recipe? And Doom being Doom goes, I'm Doom. And if you had a mic, that's pretty much when he would drop it. So dessert starts to come out. And then he pretty much says how he feels like the mutants are getting a bad rap, just like he always got a bad rap. So from this point forward, the mutants are his people. And if they mess with the mutants, then they're messing with Doom. Like, you guys have to see, like, the Donald Trump comparisons here. Like, whew. God, Emperor Doom is now our president. Again. But then he's like, another statement needs to be made. As the guards bring out the pastry chef, and he goes, I want you guys to draw and quarter him right on the pastry table, because Doom's abhors, I think I pronounced it right, I don't know, you can correct me later, but Doom's abhor was incomplete. All of a sudden you see one throwing knife and it hits the guard right in his hand who's holding the sword, and the other throwing knife is headed right for Doom, which he catches with a spell. So the Storm's like, leave that man alone. And Doom puts a spell on her. He's like, your winds could have easily blew back the guards. You flew in here on my messenger bird when you could have easily just flown here yourself. So he's like, you lost your powers and you're going to need them for the task I have ahead. But rejoice, because Doom has the ability to give you back your powers, my mutant ambassador. So Storm loses it and electricity starts flowing around her. She's like, I haven't lost my powers. And if you keep talking the way you're talking, you're about to be scorched, God Emperor Doom. And as soon as he said that, all of a sudden a hand comes out of nowhere and impales her right through her chest and her stomach. And then the ancient spirit that made the deal with Dr. Voodoo says the deal was for 7 days, not 6.5 days. So since you felt like you could just cheat me, I'm just taking life. And since I'm here, I'm also go ahead and take this planet too. So Doom ain't having none of this. He starts attacking this ancient spirit called Egon, and he goes, the spirit goes, it's been a while since I've eaten a Sorcerer Supreme. Doom hits him with another spell. He's like, hey, calm down. Don't overkick yourself now. I was like, what? As for Storm, she has a fractured skull, a burst jugular, broken spine, punctured heart, and splintered ribs. She was dead before she hit the ground. And then we see a young Aurora, who seems to be in heaven, and she sees her daddy. And she's right back to being a kid again. If any of you guys ever lost a parent, then you kind of feel for this moment. I know I did. She's like, where's mommy? I got so much want to tell you. My first crush, my friends at Westchester, my new home in Atlanta, my wedding. I was a queen of Wakanda. I know you always call me your princess, but I was a queen. And I saved the world. Saved the world so many times. And her dad goes, we know. We saw. We're so proud of you. And then she goes, you're not taking me with you, are you? And he goes, no, baby girl. I'm not. So you got more things you got to do down there. And since you was transitioning here, let's figure out to say hi. So now she's the grown Storm that we know. And she goes, tell mom I love her. He's like, I will. She goes, thank you, Dad. He goes, I love you, Aurora. And then we see her with Eternity as he goes to me, my eternal Storm, as she comes crashing down on Egon and pretty much takes him out and probably saved Doom's ass because he was about to get eaten up by that dude. So now my question to you guys, now that Storm has the power of a cosmic entity, is she more powerful than Doom? Is she on the same level as the Phoenix? Please let me know in the comments. I've been trying to record this opening for like 5 minutes. Like, I cannot stress how good this book is. Murewa Ayodele, I hope I pronounced your name right, because I don't want to disrespect you. But you are doing God's work when it comes to this book. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's just get into it. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We continue our coverage of Storm with number 5. Our story starts off in the Oblivion Void, where it states, before there was everything, there was nothing. Before there was space and time, existence was empty. Before there was a universe, there was oblivion. Then it goes, every great artist steals. Out of nowhere, from oblivion, all of a sudden, there was this huge, ever-expanding universe that came out of nowhere. Where did that come from? The first great artist, Eternity. He stole the space from oblivion 13 billion years ago. And now oblivion wants it back. So then we come back to Storm and Doomsday and Egon, who was talking big before. Yeah, no, he ain't talking that big mess no more. This one's high and mighty guy is sitting there like, please, I saved your life. And Storm goes, my host by his life, not mine. And you took it back. So the Egon's like, spare me, I beg you. Like, he has turned so quick. Storm is like, you're a spirit. You can never truly die. But under colossal atmospheric pressure, you'll take a form that's a little more easier to consume. So yes, Storm's about to eat him. So you can tell Storm is not at the wheel right now. And she does just that. After she swallows him, now she lands hard and was like, now you. Talking about God, Emperor, Sorcerer Supreme, I rule everything with an iron fist, Doom. And Doom's like, no. You're the one in danger here.
You brought that demon to my nation. You endangered my people with that demon. Now, you're going to leave here, or you're going to suffer the wrath of doom. She just got finished clapping the cheeks of a demon that was giving you all you wanted and more, and now you decide to talk to her? Come on now, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to doom. So then we cut to the dimension of manifestations. 3 billion years ago, and Eternity's like, you have surely gone mad. No, I will not do such a thing. And Oblivion's like, nah, homeboy. You want to take up all this space? Well, I officially don't have the room to contain my twin sister Death anymore. So I suggest you take her and she goes to your universe. And this is being heard by the Living Tribunal. Haven't seen him in a while. And he pretty much says, we'll settle this, will we always settle it? Trial by combat. And he takes that big old hammer of his and he strikes the ground. So Eternity always has like a stand-in, has an avatar that always fights for him. And Oblivion, real deal. He's like, nope, I'll handle this. So the belt that he wears that has all the skulls, those are all the different avatars that Eternity has thrown at Oblivion. And they all have fell. And this is going to be no different as he takes out this one too. Eternity has never beaten Oblivion in a trial by combat. And it looks like Storm has taken out Sorcerer Supreme Doom. But not really. You see, Doom is doing his best Naruto impression and doing a Shadow Clone Jutsu to try to fight Storm, which isn't working because she's taking them all out with the greatest of ease. Come to find out, he's still eating dinner in his castle. You got a whole bunch of Doom bots trying to repair the dining room. All of a sudden, this magical javelin comes through the window and lands at the dining room table. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I give Doom a lot of but this was pretty cool with him. As he's still eating his meal, he goes, if you expect me to beg and grovel, then you have surely mistaken whose presence you're in. If you expect me to be afraid of you, then you don't know whose body you've taken possession of. Ororo Munroe will not allow you to take a life of an unarmed man. She'll resist you if you try. And that's exactly what happens. So then Eternity, I'm assuming that's who's in Storm's body, is like, it seems you know my host a great deal. Very well, Victor Von Doom. It seems like you have escaped certain death. And takes off. And as he's about to eat a piece of steak, he goes, it is death who evades my wrath. So now we cut back to the dimension of manifestations, in the present time, and Oblivion's like, I miss my sister, and I want her back. And the Eternity's like, yeah, have her back. Like, please, by all means, take her. So then Oblivion gets pissed off and is like, oh, I can have her back, huh? You greedy robber. You don't give me any space to have her. Like, where the hell am I going to put her? Right? And he gets all big and he turns into a snake. And he's like, you know what? There's only one solution to this. We need to end you so I can have my territory back. And whoo, my goodness. The Living Tribunal comes out of nowhere and pops Oblivion right in his head with that big ass hammer. And he goes, look, you don't make the rules around here. All right. Hell, I don't make the rules around here. The one above all makes the rules around here. All right. And I just enforce them. You don't decide when the universe ends, when we start over. All right. He does, not you. So you need to learn your place, as he puts his foot on his head. And while the Living Tribunal's putting a beat down Oblivion, a single tear was shed for his sister. The Living Tribunal saw it, Eternity saw it, but more importantly, the one above all saw it. And he was moved, as we see the House of Ideas. And all of a sudden, there is a shift. Felt in Asgard, on Earth, Spider-Man's like, this better not be another Spider-Verse going on. No, homie, we don't need no more of those. The Phoenix felt it, and she knows it instantly has something to do with Storm. And the Living Tribunal, who just got finished putting the beat down on Oblivion, now says that there will be another trial by combat between Oblivion and Eternity. So this time, whoever wins gets everything. The universe, death, infinity, everything. And the loser gets hammered out of existence. We already seen how the Living Tribunal uses that hammer. The living tribunal turns to attorney and is like, who shall be your champion? And then we go to Atlanta, where we see Storm with her hippos, just crying her butt off. On the cover of this book, it says Earth's Mightiest Mutant, Storm. With this whole attorney thing, my goodness, that is not a false statement. You're about to see in grand fashion. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We continue our coverage of Storm with number 6. Our story starts off with Storm, an actual storm, and the narrator saying Thor of the Asgardians, Sango of the Orisha, Chak of the Hawau, Susano of the Amatakani. That was a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. And Zeus of the Olympians, which we all know. Storm gods are fierce in battle, and Ororo Munroe is no obsession. So it's finally decides to come out the storm, and she's with her hippos and her capybaras, and we see that Maggot is with her. I ain't seen Maggot in a long time. For those of you who don't know who Maggot is, see those 2 bugs that are with him that are huge? Well, they're like his digestive tract, you might as well say. Whatever they eat, he pretty much ingests and can absorb, and they can eat anything. When I mean anything. And the narrator is quick to say that the Storm Sanctuary, which is right above Atlanta, is her home and normally peaceful. But when it needs to be, it could transform into a battleship. And the name of this battleship is Thundercloud. So then we see her, and she is getting ready for battle. Putting on her battle armor, grabbing her spear. Why? Because a fugitive is with her, Charles Xavier. And Storm is cooking them something to eat and talking to him. You know, they're catching up and so on and so forth. I'm sorry. Storm can cook too. My goodness, if this was a real woman, I tell you what. Again, T'Challa, that was some dumb. So Professor Xavier is pretty much like, I appreciate that you haven't alerted the Avengers of my whereabouts just yet. And Storm goes, you know I made you a hot meal. Because typically when these manhunts happen, the survival rate is extremely low. And this one, quite possibly, might be your last one. And if you've forgotten, Charles, we don't have Krakoa no more. So when you die, you stay dead. I mean, she didn't, but semantics. So then she goes, why are you really here, Charles? He's like, it's funny you talk about coming back from the dead, because I want to raise the dead one last time. So then we cut to San Francisco in the present time, and Storm's ship is being boarded. Her and Maggot are ready to defend whoever comes through that portal. Just that portal. So that should tell you who's coming through. Yes, the X-Men are here to get Professor Xavier. And they're there because the Heifer called them and asked for the help. Like, did Raid on Great Malcolm even happen? Like, are we supposed to forget about this whole thing? Like, I don't understand. Like, Rogue is cool with the Heifer. How? Like, you just got into it with this woman. And now everything is like water under the bridge. And Scott, same thing. Like, they beat Beast down. I mean, beat the fur off that dude. He even said that in the book. And yet and still, now all of a sudden, everything is cool. We're going to bring back Professor Xavier and bring him right to you. Like, what in the hell is going on? It's like, is the hatred of Professor Xavier the reason why you're wanting to deal with this heifer? Because you know she's evil too. She hates mutants. Okay, I'm done talking about it. Anyway, X-Men are here for Professor Xavier. Storm's like, no, you're not taking him. Go home. So Magic's like, we can't do that, Aurora. And Temper seems to be the only one that does not want to do this. And she's like, please. So Scott goes, if there's going to be any kind of peaceful coexistence between us and the humans, then we need to be as accountable from the people that we deem it from. Professor is no exception. We're taking them back to Great Malcolm. So her Storm goes, a day will come when you will desire such an exception, Scott. You will bless the heavens on that day that I am who I am. And when that day comes, I will put my life on the line for you too. But today,
This man is under my protection. So with those words being said, the fight's on. And Scott is in full Captain America form. He's like, "Get Omega. Shield up for Professor Xavier's telepathy and keep him busy. Juggernaut, you got Maggot. Psylocke and I will retrieve Professor and withdraw. Storm cannot unleash her full power without destroying her ship. So Magic Temper, give her hell." Now he said that, but the fight ain't going nowhere near like that. Temper tries to hit Storm with her powers, doesn't work. Maggot try to hit Psylocke. Storm sends Kid Omega and Psylocke just flying. Juggernaut has Maggot on the ground, and Cyclops is using his optical blast on Storm. She's blocking it with her powers. And I mean, this dude is like really pouring it on. Like his ruby quartz visors break. He's blasting so hard. And all of a sudden, we see this narration, and it goes, "You failed to alter the battlefield in your favor. You set no traps. Nothing but heart and goodwill. Very well. Watch and learn, child." As Eternity takes over. Let me just specify by saying, these cosmic entities, they have no chill. Like, people were all scared about the Phoenix because Phoenix had no chill. Eternity's no different. You're about to find out. Eternity goes, "You have fought well, brave mutant. Make peace with your resistance, Scott Summers, leader of the X-Men." And all of a sudden sends out this blast. And even Professor Xavier is like, "Oh, Scott, what have I done?" Everybody is like, "Scott, Cyclops," as we see him frozen over, like eyelids. It looks bad. It looks really bad. Juggernaut's like, gloves are off, and tears off Maggot's arm. Just off, gone. And Eternity's like, "You think you scare me? I've seen Oblivion rip out the heart of beings that can collapse stars into quasars like it was nothing. Compared to my brother, you're weak." So out of nowhere, she regurgitates Egon, because, she swallowed him after she collapsed the hell out of him. And she goes to Maggot and is like, "Hey, look, I need you to ingest this. It's from a being that gave a Sorcerer Supreme all he wanted." And I know a lot of you guys would say that Doom was going to win that fight, but trust me, Egon, all he wanted to do was eat Doom. Was telling him, hey, calm down. I don't want my food to overcook. Like, he was going to eat him. Anything that Doom was throwing at him wasn't doing a damn thing to him. So Eternity goes, "Eat and heal, and then become my Omega Maggot." I don't know how I feel about what I just said, but hey, we're going to go with it. So while all that was going on, Eternity's been sending winds at Juggernaut, and obviously he's been resisting. And he goes, "Nothing can stop the Juggernaut." And Eternity goes, "Why don't we test that theory?" Eternity uses cosmic winds to pick up the Juggernaut, stabs both shoulders with cosmic spears, and then goes, "Immortal headbutt," like we're playing Mortal Kombat or something, and crack Kane's helmet, and he is down and done. So now most of the X-Men are out of the ship. Cyclops is still alive somehow. Don't ask me how, but he is. And Temper is trying to help him out. Psylocke is talking to Beast. Beast is in the engine room. And the engine room is powered, I believe, by a dead Celestial. I think. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. But it looks like a Celestial. And it's dead. It's gotta be. So Psylocke's like, "All right, Beast, blow it up." But then Professor Xavier comes out of nowhere and goes, "Beast." And then we see they're right over their other former home that's in ruins. Utopia. Now, in West Coast Avengers, Storm gave Blue Bolt a 2-piece and a biscuit. Actually, there was no biscuit because he was asleep after the 2-piece. But before she did that, she told him that she doesn't use lightning, she is lightning. And this, she's about to meet some people that are just like her. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We continue our coverage of Storm with number 7. Our story starts off with the far reaches of the universe in the near future. Looks like his Beta Ray Bill is down. Cosmic Ghost Rider is also down. Now, I'm pretty sure this is Beta Ray Bill. Why? Because the Twilight Sword is right there. And the Silver Surfer comes out of nowhere, picks it up, and says, "Please allow me to borrow your weapon, to borrow your strength." And he puts it inside his board, and the board absorbs it. So now, not only does he have a portion of the power cosmic,
Now, with the Twilight Sword, he has a portion of Surtur's power. The comic book says that right now he's probably the most powerful being in the universe, which, I'm sorry, there's a red-headed female and a white-headed female that are walking around here with cosmic entities inside of them that might have an issue with that. But anyway, we can do power scale on another day. But even as powerful as Soul Surfer is right now, he still answers to somebody, which is Galactus. And on the next page, all we see is Galactus, and he's like, "Surfer, assist me." Dude, all I heard was Kevin Hart saying, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" Because the Black Winter's back. Yes. And not only is he back, but come to find out, he is an aspect of Oblivion. Now we cut to the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, where there is a green anaconda that is stalking Storm, and his head is as big as she is. And somehow this thing swallowed a tainted form of the Super Soldier Serum. I was wondering the same thing, just give it a second, we're about to find out. And right before this thing is about to swallow Storm whole, and I mean whole, because it didn't need to restrict nothing. All of a sudden, Maggot comes out of nowhere and punches the hell out of this thing. He talks his little mess to the snake, but then he gets whipped by his tail. So Storm's like, "You need to pace yourself. You gotta remember, you just fought the Juggernaut, and you ripped your arm off." So as Storm is following this thing, it's gotta be at least 30 to 40 feet long. Like, this thing is huge. So Storm's like, "Look, I ain't got the time nor the patience for this right now." So now we go to 7 days ago, Storm Sanctuary in Atlanta, where Iron Man has watched Storm come down what it looks to be like a see-through robe. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, it would be hard for me to wear that suit. Pun intended. So he's like, "You need a better security system." So Storm's like, "You don't think I know that you sneak your lady friends in here so you can show off the baby hippos?" So Iron Man's like, "I didn't think you knew about that." And all I can hear is Deion Sanders in my head when Storm says, "This is my house." So the Tony's like, "It's not that, it's that you really don't do well with secrets." And Storm's like, "I'm going to bed, Tony. And yes, I have a real mattress. I don't just float in the air when I sleep." And Iron Man's like, "That's not what the child told us." Don't bring that up again. Like, don't bring that up. I'm still pissed about that. And that happened a decade ago. So Storm's like, "Look, just because I chose to tell everybody about the whole mutant thing in Oklahoma doesn't mean that I don't know how to keep secrets. I just know which ones to share and which ones to keep." So Iron Man's like, "This is not even an official mission. I can't even tell you about it." She's like, "You don't have to. You can't find Thor." Iron Man's like, "Well, how'd you know?" And Storm's like, "The cosmic dust is practically radiating off of you." Now, I don't care what anybody says about me right now. If I was Iron Man, I'd be offering to drink her bathwater right now. So Iron Man's like, "Look, if I tell you this and this gets out, I'm going to get into your browser history and publish it. And if it's not bad enough, I'm going to add maggots to it." Ooh, not the dreaded browser history. If I'm lucky enough to know exactly when I'm about to die, that's the first thing I'm doing. Erasing everything. So in Brazil, there's all these lightning storms going on, and we don't know why, and we can't stop them. And it's unfortunate that it's happening right there at that time, because we have some mad scientists there that are trying to recreate the Super Soldier Serum for Captain America. Well, one of those lightning strikes hit the helicopter. The pilot got out just fine, but we don't know what happened to him after that. But we as a reader know, we see that anaconda got to him and swallowed him and the Super Soldier Serum whole. So this thing is souped up. So then we see Reed Richards, T'Challa, and Iron Man trying to fight the lightning storms and figure out how to stop it with little to no success. Actually, we'll just go ahead and say no success. So now they're turning Storm to see if she can figure something out. Why in the hell would you turn Storm in the first place? Like, you guys are the smartest ones in Marvel. The first thing you just thought about is, hey, this is a lightning storm. Why don't we ask Storm for help? So then we cut to the present time. It looks like Storm is freaking seeing this thing. I mean, you can see his bones, and you can see the pilot that got swallowed and his bones. I mean, this is a powerful lightning strike that's taking this big thing out. And Maggot starts to lose his mind. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, we have no chance to get the pilot now because he got freaking seized with the damn snake. But there ain't nothing but ashes left. Like, why would you do that? Storm's like, calm your ass down. That wasn't me. On the next page, we see who freaking see that snake. It was Mama Rogan, who I believe is the Australian lightning god, but don't quote me on that. But he's not alone, because all of a sudden, Sango shows up, who is an African lightning god, and is battling Storm now. But he also has company too. Susanoo shows up, who is a Japanese lightning god, and he does a true thunderclap. And this is just too much for Maggot, and Storm knows it, so Storm uses her powers and gets Maggot the hell out of there. And as soon as he does that, Chuck shows up, who is a Mayan lightning god, so this is his home turf. And he comes out of nowhere, grabs Storm by her hair, and throws her into a river, talking about, you are a self-proclaimed lightning god. We are the lightning gods. So as she's picking herself up, all of a sudden, she gets a vision from Dr. Voodoo. I don't know if she's remembering this or Dr. Voodoo's talking to her right now. But he's like, look, you are descended from the first Sorcerer Supreme. How would he handle this? So she creates a lightning kraken, which handles 3 of the 4 storm gods. But unfortunately, Mama Rogan is still coming for her. And Chalk, even though he's being like suffocated by the kraken, still has a hold of her hair. So she grabs a lightning sword and cuts her hair. Chalk, me and you will have some words, boy. If you were real, whew, make my baby girl cut her hair like that. What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, after she cut her hair, she sends out a lightning strike that distracts Mama Rogan. And the reason why she threw Maggot is because she wanted him to go get the sanctuary. So she flies up and she was like, you know what? Everybody's starting to piss me off. Give me my armor. It's time to go god hunting. Also, all you hear is storm gods and their fury. But Thor says nay. So which side is Thor on, man? Like, what we doing here? Are you on their side or are you on Storm's side? Like, yeah, it'll never go well for you, Thor, every time you want to fight Storm. I'm just saying that now. I am serious a heart attack when I say this. I need at least 50 issues of this. 50. Not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40. 50. At least. I would like more than 50, but 50 is my cutoff. Right? It needs to go more than 50. Or it needs to at least get to 50. And I'm like, okay, that's acceptable. But more is always better. Ayodele, just keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local LCS. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Storm. Number 8. Our story starts off with Storm, who is announcing how she is the mistress of the elements. And she's talking to the elements that she controls, saying that ever since she was a child, they have spoken to her like a mother whispering sweet words into the ears of her weeping little one. But she's grown now, no longer a child, and these storm gods that have hurt the elements, by her power, she will make the elements whole again. And then we got the Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, where you got Tony, T'Challa, and Reed. And Tony's like, you did it. Don't worry, T'Challa. I think your anti-cloud seeding came in handy too. And T'Challa's like, we worked on that together, Tony. That was a me and you project. So Tony's like, it's really not a my project if it doesn't work. So then he's like, want to say hi to Storm? And T'Challa's like, perhaps another time. I'm in a hurry. I got a great evening planned with Emma Frost. Tony's like, touche. And then they show Reed happily married, never divorced. You're damn right. Like, I want to be like Mr. Fantastic. Happily married, never divorced. Why? Because it's cheaper to keep her. That song was made back in 1973, and 52 years later, it still rings true. Plus, you will have a sexy storm goddess waking up next to you every day. Don't even get me started. Oh, that's right. That's right. The high priestess annulled your marriage, which you were the high priestess, so you annulled your own marriage. Don't even get me started. We're not going down that road today. And Tony, you ain't getting out of this either, because Emma Frost might be a lot of things, but not being sexy isn't one of them. Like, you messed that up, homeboy. You messed that up. All right, I'm over it. So then we cut to the Amazon rainforest, where Storm and Thor are working together. Storm is gathering up the cremated remains of the pilot that got devoured by the snake, who caught all kinds of lightning from one of them storm gods and just fricasseed, like done bashes. So Storm was like, since Dr. Voodoo's a necromancer, he should be able to distinguish the ashes from the snake from the ashes from the pilot. And then the pilot will hopefully be able to get a proper burial by his family. But then Thor is like, that's all well and fine, but let me tell you something. These storm gods are only the beginning. And these guys ain't what you got to worry about. Oh, no. Before Zeus, there was the first storm god. And you definitely got to worry about. His name was Hadad. He was so strong that he made eternity be his cloak. He made death be his club. He made the Phoenix Force be his armor. And he made infinity be his shield. And the only one that can stop him was the one above all, themselves. They came down and was like, you know this my kids, right? Like you know you just can't do this to my kids. Now I gotta deal with you. Which they did. But then Thor is like, this dude is coming back. And when he comes back, he is going to be all kinds of a problem. Because he's going after the Black Winter and he's going after Galactus. That's why in the last issue we saw Galactus and he was like, Surfer, help! And Surfer was trying to power up all he could. But if this dude was taking like cosmic entities and just making them like pieces of his like armor and his sword and his cloak, then yeah, Black Winter and Galactus have no chance. Along with the Surfer, like he ain't got no shot, homie. So I guess there's some storm gods that are on the side of Hadad, and there's some storm gods that's on the side of, I don't know, I guess the rest of the universe. And it's hard to know which one is which. So Thor busts out a raven's feather and is like, all you gotta do is use this, and I'll be right here to help you. He hands her the feather, and she goes, no, Thor, I don't need that. Because if these guys show up again, they're gonna need to summon somebody. Now, as much as I love Storm, I love Storm. Come on, girl. Like, Thor isn't Thor anymore, right? Thor has the Odin Force now. It's the Thor Force. So he's just as powerful as Odin is, who is just as powerful as Zeus is. Like, you don't turn down that kind of help. You know, like, yes, you are powerful and you have the power of attorney in you, but you can always use a little bit of help. Thor, yes. That's more than a little bit of help. That's big help right there. But then we cut 3 days later at the Storm Sanctuary, where she is doing advanced yoga and just reminding me how T'Challa messed up. But she keeps saying, never again, never again, never again. It's not about the storm gods that she eventually has to fight. It's not about eternity. No. It's about the FBI. So she arrives at the Federal Bureau of Investigation's headquarters in Washington, D.C. And she arrives in style. Why? Because Manifold brought her. Man, I ain't seen Manifold since Krakoa. And Manifold even says as he's handing her a briefcase, like, look, Storm, if they act up, all you gotta do is say the word and we'll start a second Krakoan age on their asses. Storm's like, it's okay. Only the unprepared need to be worried. And I don't get ready. I stay ready. And if I'm Gerard Wade from My Chemical Romance, who wrote the Umbrella Academy, I'll be pissed. Look at that. Baby embryo, fish, same character. And then she tells Manifold to go back to the sanctuary and keep an eye on Maggot. So he does. And when he goes back, Maggot is being introduced by this ring announcer, and there's like a crowd full of people. And he's like, I was only gone for a minute. Storm is going to kill me. Because he's involved in a heavyweight fight with gentle She-Hulk, the Juggernaut, who just whooped his ass. I mean, just whipped him. He's about to fight him again. Big Bertha, strong guy, who I guess is fresh off of Dazzler's World Tour, Armor, and the Abomination. Come on, man. So most people who know about Storm know about her claustrophobia and how small places just make her uncomfortable. This place that she got her in, it's not small at all. It's huge. And it's made to do the exact opposite. It's made to make her feel small and insecure. But when you're an alpha personality, ain't no such thing as small and insecure to you. But then this tall ass alien walks in. Like, did she go to the FBI or is she visiting like the Men in Black? Like, I don't get what this is. So as he's sitting down, he's letting her know that there's a two-way mirror and Agent Lundquist is sitting down on this. If you read the main X-Men comic book, then you know who Agent Lundquist is. If you don't, playlist is in the description. So this dude's like, the planet where he's from has a lot more nitrogen in the atmosphere than Earth does. So while he's asking the questions, he'll be sucking on some nitrogen. Now, I know this is make-believe, but how would you feel about the whole immigration situation if an alien from another planet gets a job at the FBI and you can't? You can't call ICE on him. He'll just pull out his badge and like, what you gonna do? So first he asks us about the mission policy of the Storm Sanctuary. So she pulls out the paperwork and she's like, Anthony Edward Stark, Iron Man, Lunetta Lafayette, Moon Girl, and Shuri, the daughter of T'Chaka, who is also the sister of T'Challa, her dumbass ex-husband, are the ones who designed it and emits no greenhouse gas. And SHIELD certified it. And it emits a solar light that's identical to solar rays, so it never impedes anyone's access to sunlight. And if I was Storm, I'd been like, so take that, you non-smoking mother. So then he's like, you are famously a former thief in Cairo. Have you answered for your crimes? So then she's like, my relationship with the Egyptian criminal justice system is not the purview of the United States, you long-necked son of a... So he's like, okay, I can play that game. I need reports of your activities from the last 6 weeks. She's like, the Impossible City has my reports because I'm an Avenger. I'm not talking about when you're with the Avengers. I want to know your whereabouts when you were by yourself. Like, have you been kidnapped within the last 6 weeks when you're in the United States? So she's like, no. And he's like, we feared you say that. But we also want to make sure that your memories have been altered telepathically. She's like, I'm immune to telepathy. We long discovered that my friends Gambit and Jubilee are immune to telepathy because of the latent energy that's always surging through their bodies and their brains. I do the same thing, so I can be immune. So then this purple bastard goes, do I have permission to examine this hypothesis of yours? And she goes, you may. So they grab hands, and all of a sudden he goes, I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. The telepathy simulation machine is right next door. Come with me, this only take a few minutes. And she goes, that's not real. And he goes, excuse me? She goes, look, greater beings than you have tried to evade my mind, so cut the games, punk. All of a sudden he uses telekinesis and slams her against the wall. Then he starts laughing. He's like, you thought you can hide what you did with Professor Xavier? Not only did you aid and abet a known fugitive, but you also allowed him to get off the planet. So now she's surrounded by agents X, Y, and Z, and Skinny Grimace goes, Ororo Munroe, you are under arrest for obstruction of justice. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. Murewa Ayodele has to get 50 issues. Has to. The story's too good. The story is too good. We're just going to get into it. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local comic book store. My name is Dorian. This is SCN Comics. We continue our covers of Storm. With number 9. Our story starts off in FBI headquarters in a holding cell. Now, I give Murewa a lot of credit. But man, I gotta start giving credit to Lucas Werneck. Cause man, he is drawing the hell out of Storm. Good Lord have mercy. Like, she is down and out, destitute, like her hair's down. And all I was thinking to myself was,
Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
Anyway, she goes, excuse me, officer. I would like that phone call now. But then we cut to law offices of Book and Walters, where the sensational She-Hulk is supposed to be answering the phone. She's not. Storm has to hang up. And the correction officer says, couldn't get a hold of your lawyer, huh? My lawyer is my ex-wife's sister. And a lot of times, she ghosts me when I need her the most. And Storm's like, Jennifer Walters is exceptionally professional. If she can't answer the phone, that's because she's doing something extremely important. And that very important thing is trying to hang on to her teeth, because she got the bejesus punched out of her. I mean, green blood went everywhere. And it looks like it's Blue Marvel is the referee, and he's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She got hit so hard by Strong Guy that she is turning back into Jennifer Walters, like the normal human Jennifer Walters, and he's just flexing. But all of a sudden, she turns back into She-Hulk, but she's doing it like Philip Kennedy Johnson style. If you guys read The Incredible Hulk, then you know what I'm talking about, the grotesque looking style. And the narrator is also talking about power shifters while this is all going on. After she transforms, she goes, absorb this, and punches the Jesus out of him. I mean, it's a one-hair quitter. Like, there's so much blood coming from this dude's face. He is done. Like, I love Guido, but yeah, no, he got KO'd. We also have the Juggernaut versus the Abomination. Abomination is sitting there. He's in a rear naked choke, and he's like, I swear, Kane, if I pass out in front of these people, I'm gonna kill you. So yes, the Juggernaut is the winner. I'm pretty sure he passed out. Big Bertha beat Armor. And then we have Omega Maggot versus Gentle, which I will pay for this fight, which Omega Maggot won. Now, Mr. Ayodele, like I said before, you've been doing a great job. These fights, even though we know the outcome of them, we need to see them. Like, I need to see Juggernaut versus the Abomination. Like, I need to see Gentle versus Omega Maggot. All right, I need to see like an extended fight between Strong Guy and She-Hulk. Like, these things just need to happen. Just some kind of like one-off book, you know. Just go ahead and write the fights, you know, as Blue Marvel's referee. Like, this needs to happen. It's a personal request, but yes, I need it. By the way, now I don't know if he said it in the last issue. I don't even know why these fights are going down. All I know is they're going down, and it's fantastic. So now we come back to Storm. She's with that smoking alien, and he is hooking her up to a lie detector, which is another alien that looks eerily similar to him. He goes out his way by saying that this alien has perished, not alive, and died of a fungal infection. So yes, the cordyceps are even in space. But the fungal infection has some kind of special properties to it that makes this dead alien the perfect lie detector. So Snoop Dogg takes a hit and then proceeds to start asking Storm some questions. He asks, do you believe mutants are a security risk to the United States? She goes, no. The alien says true. And he asks, do you believe that you are a threat to this country? She goes, no. The alien says true. Did you house Professor Xavier, knowing full well that he was a wanted fugitive from the government? She goes, yes. The alien says true. Did you also facilitate his escape from Grey Mountain Prison? She goes, no. The alien says true. So then he asks, knowing the outcome now, if you could go back, would you help out Professor Xavier still? She goes, yes. The alien says true. So as Adrian Lundquist is watching this, he goes to the other weird looking FBI agents and goes, it's time. So then he brings up the whole Oklahoma City thing that started this whole series from the first issue, talking about the child that was a nuclear reactor. And he's like, this child caused the death of 255 U.S. citizens and $35 million worth of property damage. Are you aware that he is wanted by the government? She goes, yes. The alien says true. So then he asks, so where you been hiding this child? And she goes, if I told you, Special Agent Fabib, the words would come from my mouth, but you would not hear them. No one would. The alien goes, true. So then Snoop Dogg kind of loses it, and he's like, is that why you visited Dr. Voodoo in Haiti? And he just starts going down, and what are you holding in the sanctuary, and so on and so forth. And he ends it with, so I ask again, do you feel like you are a threat to the security of the United States? She goes, no. The alien goes, false. So then all of a sudden we cut to Limbo. Yeah, I said Limbo. Same place where, you know, Magic came from, or she didn't come from there. She got sent there, and she spent most of her childhood there. We'll get into that later. And the United States is trying to flex their muscle in Limbo. If this ain't some Donald Trump shit, I don't know what is. Gulf of America. And the crazy hair looking agent is just talking bad about how Magic it was the ruler of Limbo, but she spends most of her time in America, and how Madeline Pryor does the same thing now that she's the new ruler of Limbo. And then she brings up how 4,000 years ago in Asgard, how they fought a great battle against the rock trolls and defeated them. And how 2,600 years ago they went to the Crimson Cosmos and fought Sidorak. But then she's like, if you come work for the United States, then we can offer you greatness again. You can have battles that you could talk about. And the main demon is like, greatness. That's what you offer, huh? So then he's like, you make better food than ambassadors. So he's like, you're telling me all these stories, but you need to realize I'm the one who led the assault on Asgard against rock trolls. I'm the one who made Sidorak bleed because he killed my wife. He's like, I don't think you understand, little human. My 10,000-year-old eyes have seen things that your nightmares couldn't fathom. Not gonna lie, that was a cold line. So then he's like, so you come down here and your nation is only offering me greatness? So then she has to think fast, because her and her other agents are getting choked out. And she's like, no, we don't just offer you greatness, we offer you power too. Like, the only reason why Ileana and Madeline rule this dimension is because of the weapons that they carry. What if we can offer you the same thing? So then he goes, So then we cut to Atlanta, where Agent Lundquist is waiting on the agents to step out the portal from Limbo. They do, and the girl is beat up. And she goes, I hope all those demons die. So then he's like, is it done? And she's like, yeah, it's done. They said that they will do the assault on the sanctuary. So the Agent Lundquist is in this bubble, and they're flying over to the sanctuary, and they're like, with all these demons that are about to assault that thing, and only Maggot is the one that's defending it, it should be over pretty quickly. And as soon as they get there, that is not the case. That is not the case. These Limbo demons might have done some great things, but they ran into the wrong group. Maggot, Juggernaut, there's all kinds of people here. They put all kinds of work on these demons, and they are done. done. And then Manifold opens up a portal for She-Hulk, and she teleports right into that portal and knocks the bejesus out of him, talking about, I'm Storm's lawyer, and we need to talk. So when she hit him to another portal that went straight to FBI headquarters. So now they're with Storm and Snoop Dogg. Agent Lundquist is thrown up in that protective bubble, and She-Hulk is like, if you think this is bad, you don't want to go to court, because I'm a lot meaner in court. So then we cut back to the sanctuary, where Storm is talking to Manifold. She-Hulk and the government came to an understanding, and now Storm is released. Because the only reason why they even detained her is to try to get into her sanctuary to get whatever they were trying to get, which Storm is about to talk to Manifold about. Now, Storm understands that she is being possessed by Eternity, and she seems to be fine with this arrangement. What she's not fine with is there are hours where she'll go and she can't account for, and sometimes there's even days that she can't account for. Now, the government wanted to seize the sanctuary because they're after something that she's holding. Now, everybody thinks it's the engines, because these engines are extremely powerful. I mean, like I said, they can power a city for like 100 years. But they could be after what Eternity is brought in. And then we see it is Abraxas. Now, if you guys know the story of Abraxas, when Galactus dies, that's when Abraxas steps in, and he's even more powerful than Galactus is, and more of a problem because he wants to just destroy everything. But I was like, when did Galactus die? And then I started thinking like, oh, that's right. During Johnny Cake's run of Thor, he killed the Black Winter and he killed Galactus. But I'm like, but then Abraxas should have stepped in. But it looks like before Abraxas could step in, Eternity just snatched him up and just put him in some kind of suspended animation. Like, this is what I'm assuming. Don't quote me on this, but this is what I'm assuming. And I'm assuming Abraxas is what Eternity wants to use against Oblivion. So then we cut to sometime in the near future, and we see Abraxas is behind the Eternal Storm, and she's facing down the Dark Winter, which is, I guess, is Oblivion's herald. And with the combination of Eternal Storm and Abraxas, they pretty much blow the Dark Winter like right out of there, because, you know, the Eternal Storm with Abraxas definitely has no limits. But then the narrator says, eternity, no matter how great the power he amasses, Oblivion will not know defeat by his hands. Because in the Oblivion Void, Hadad is just sitting there, and it looks like he killed Oblivion. Now, this might not be Oblivion, this might be one of his underlings or his creatures, but it was powerful, and this Storm guy just took him out like he was nothing. Now, in the last issue, they said that Hadad had, like, the Phoenix was like his armor, and or like his sword. It was all kinds of different cosmic entities. Was like he had different cosmic entities as his like armor and weapons and stuff like that. And the only person that could step in and do something was the one above all. I just want to know is how the hell is a Storm god this powerful that he takes out cosmic entities like they're nothing? I'm not bitching about the whole storyline, not at all. I just want some explanations. That's it. Just explain to me how this normal Storm god is just pretty much going around whooping everybody's ass except the one above all. I hope you got the track shoes on when you're reading this, because this issue, it is nothing but go, go, go. There is one water break point. And then Murewa was like, I hope you enjoyed it. After that, we ain't stopping until we get to our destination. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local comic store. My name is Dorian. This is SCN Comics. We are continuing our coverage of Storm. Number 10. Our story starts off in Magiport, so you know it's about to go down. But we're not in the city. We're in the forest somewhere. I didn't even know Magiport even had forest. And we're 4 days from now, and we see somebody grabbing on her chest. And we see his bishop, and he's like struggling. And then he goes, I'm sorry, Storm. All of a sudden, he releases all this energy into the sky, and it's like a beacon. And then we cut to D space where we have Storm, Maggot, and Manifold. Like, must be nice not to have a spaceship. Why? Because you got Manifold. Why the hell do you need a spaceship for it? Just need a suit. Anyway, the Avengers encountered a new planet called Avak. That's the best I could do. And they told it to the Natural Aeronautics and Space Administration. Now, they want to look at the planet, but there's only one problem. The Avengers also got into a fight with a kaiju, and they eventually killed it or destroyed it, and it kind of stopped right there, and now it's blocking the view. If you want to know what happened, just read Avengers Unlimited, number 9 through number 13, which is only on Marvel Unlimited. So they're going to use Maggot to eat the kaiju. And Manifold's like, you realize this thing is the size of a tri-state area, right? So Maggot's like, you know, this discussion between two Omega levels, Manifold, like, you just wouldn't understand what's going on here. So the Manifold's like, my apologies, my Lord Omega level. I'm just a lower level mutant with the ability to teleport this whole thing into a sun and disintegrate it within 5 seconds. But do your thing. So the Maggot goes, hi, Shuri. And Manifold's like, what? So Maggot's like, Storm, you didn't say Shuri's coming along for this ride. Manifold's like, where? So then Maggot's like, you see that? All I gotta do is bring up Shuri and you break down like a math problem. So then we cut to Storm, and she's like, I am Storm, mistress of the cosmic elements. And she's sending lightning into the kaiju. And Manifold's like, why are we yelling out our names and titles now? So then Storm's like, it's the Omega thing. You just want to understand. So the Manifold's like, you two? Like, man, I should have won Frenzy on her team. So then Storm's like, and then the likelihood of you visiting Shuri will be diminished considerably. And the Manifold's like, I can just teleport to Wakanda. They love me there. And she goes, yet you're here watching Maggot eat a rotten kaiju. So then Manifold's like, it's going to be a long 3 days. So day one, I'm assuming this Manifold goes, truth or dare, Storm? She goes, truth. He's like, are you and Emperor T'Challa secretly dating again? Day two, truth or dare? Dare. I dare you to tell the truth. Day 3 is pretty much gone. So day 4, we cut to the realm of the Orishas. We see Sango, who's a storm god. He's just waking up, and somebody yells out, "You got 3 wives, Sango. Yet and still in the morning, you're as lonely and as desperate as a widow's bedside. And you slept with your eyes closed when I warned you not to." Is she a storm god or is she a gangster? Like, I can't tell the difference anymore. So Sango's like, the Earther, your youth is going to be your undoing. Allow me to re-educate you. So they start going at it, and Storm's like, you came to my Earth unprovoked. I didn't attack your people, yet and still you attacked me and my people. But more importantly, you made me do the unthinkable. You made me cut my hair. That is definitely a cultural thing right there. Like, if you're not of African descent, then like Beyonce said, you don't feel her pain. So Sango's like, lightning infused with solar radiation to keep me from escaping. You must not know who I am, because I don't retreat like you. So as much as this pisses off Storm, she goes, you didn't learn anything from our previous encounter. That's your mistake. Because I'm not alone, as we see this big ass fist come out of nowhere and punches the bejesus out of Sango. Who we see is Maggot. See, the reason why they went up there, it wasn't just to go ahead and take out that thing so that NASA, I guess you could say, can view the new planet. No. It was so Maggot can get a power up so he could do this. Punch the bejesus out of a storm god. Manifold's there because him and Gateway are the only 2 people that can teleport outside of the universe. And he opens up a portal that says Sango into a pocket dimension. And without a teleporter, there's no way out of there. So when he gets in there, he knows that chalk is already there. And he's like, she got you too, huh? Because Storm is using these pocket dimensions as prisons for gods. So then they get back to the sanctuary, and as soon as they get back, Storm notices the beacon that's coming out of Bishop, and she goes, oh no. So then we cut to Madripoor, where Bishop is sitting with a girl, and all of a sudden a portal opens up, and the girl's like, Storm, and she goes, Jaden. And then we cut back 7 months ago to Oklahoma City, where we see the child that was being used as a core reactor. Well, this is that child. Thought it was a boy, it's actually a girl. And Storm learned her lesson because now she got on a radiation suit. So she immediately says, I'm sorry, Storm. Like, I've been trying real hard and I've been training, but last night I had a nightmare and I lost control of my powers, and Mr. Bishop had to absorb everything, and it was dangerous radiation, so he had to release it, which let everybody know exactly where we're at now. And she's like, calm down, child. Take a breath. The girl exhales, and she goes, may I? And she's like, yes. She's like, I love what you're doing with the hair. And she's like, I want to kind of be more like you. And Storm's like, well, now hairstyle is yours. I'm just borrowing it. So the Storm starts messing with her hair, and all of a sudden there's blood spatter everywhere. And Maggot doesn't have a head anymore. So Storm is screaming, Japheth. And Bishop is like, Storm, you can read energy signatures from miles away. Who's attacking us? She's not hearing what he's saying because she's just still screaming, Japheth, because Maggot is dead, like dead. So the Manifold's like, it's time to go. And he starts opening up a portal. He's cut in half. So then we see somebody that has some voodoo dolls of Storm, Maggot, and Manifold. We see it's the girl that got her ass whipped in limbo, and Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg's like, I am sure glad that she decided to hide her in Madripoor, because now we ain't got to worry about nobody coming to investigate this. We ain't got to worry about the X-Men. We ain't got to worry about the Avengers. This just goes down as an unsolved mystery. Now, girl, take that voodoo doll, Storm, and kill her. When all of a sudden the Silver Surfer comes falling out of the sky, right where they're at. And in the narration, they're like, if he's coming, somebody else is not too far behind. And Galactus comes and falls out of nowhere. I mean, huge explosion. Snoop Dogg and Blonde Girl go flying. And they're just looking like, what in the hell's going on? out of nowhere, Infinity just opens up the sky like it's a curtain and just walks through. And she's like, I beat the brakes off both the Silver Surfer and Galactus for not telling me what I need to know. So now, Ororo Munroe, you're going to tell me where the hell my twin brother Eternity is. Jesus Christ, Murewa, you like Jekyll too. All gas, no brakes. This book just tells me that Murewa Ayodele is next. Once he's done writing Storm, they're going to be like, so what do you want? X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man, take the pick. Now, before you say, well, why would you think that? Besides this whole Storm series, as Dylan will say, being hot fire, they have given this man the ability to use characters that they don't let almost nobody use at all, whatsoever. And there's a reason for that. And this story shows why. Support the comic book industry by visiting your else. Yes. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We continue our coverage of Storm. Number 11. Our story starts off in a neutral realm for all pantheons. Then here's somebody calling out names. Sazanu, Amadioha, probably messed that up. Sugar, Beta Ray Bill, that one was easy. Indra, Uka, Seth, Legon, Mamerigan, and the newly brought back to life Zeus. We're so far behind in Immortal Thor, he's still an accessory. He's a belt. Thor wields his power as a belt, not, like an accessory to crime, which Thor is being convicted of. Again, we're behind. Anyway, just about any storm god you could think of is under one roof right now, besides one that, Storm had to deal with. So Zeus is like, we're here to discuss the fate of one mortal, Ororo Munroe, the mutant, the self-proclaimed storm god of Earth. You better watch your mouth, Zeus, like she already clipped 3 or 4 of them, like you could be next. And right now, your win-loss record ain't the greatest. So then we cut back to Madripoor. Jalen is just in a corner distraught. Snoop Dogg and the girl that got her ass whooped in Limbo are pretty much done. Like, I don't think they're dead, but they're pretty much knocked the hell out. The other FBI agents are getting handled by Bishop because they're trying to subdue a Galactus that just got his ass whooped by Infinity. Like, Murewa, I see what you're trying to do, but this is no longer the FBI. This is the Men in Black. Like, these dudes got big ass huge syringes that got mosquito wings, and they're trying to inject the Galactus with whatever it is, so I guess to sedate him and bring him down. And Bishop is just being Bishop. He's taking these dudes out with the quickness. I mean, just if he ain't hemming you up, then he's just shooting you in your face. Now, I don't know if Infinity got tired when she was whooping up on the Silver Surfer and Galactus. I don't understand what happened. All I know is she came in last issue talking big. And now, Storm is putting it on her. And while that's going on, Gateway is teleporting the pieces that are Manifold and Maggot and teleporting them somewhere, which I'm just thinking, you might as well go ahead and teleport into the morgue. Especially Maggot. He has a head. You need that. Now, Storm is letting Infinity know that, hey, she ain't the one. That she is a descendant of a Sheikh. Hope I pronounced that right. She also has the blood of Agamotto in her, which is a Sorcerer Supreme. So she's not only using her mutant powers, but she also is using magic too. And that she is a goddess. I mean, she put it on Infinity, who, like I said before, put it on both the Silver Surfer and Galactus. No small feat. She also lets you know that it was Eternity that took over her body, not vice versa, and made her do things like almost kill Cyclops and just all kinds of other stuff. And she just had to sit there and watch, or sometimes she didn't even remember what the hell happened. So whenever you find Eternity, why don't you ask him about that? So as Storm is doing her best Goku impression and has a big ass spear bomb that she's about to drop on Infinity, Infinity's pretty much like, look, I can't find my brother, and without him, I can barely keep myself whole. So if you're going to drop it and kill me, then kill me. So So all of a sudden Galactus and Silver Surfer come out of nowhere, and Galactus is like, nothing controls you now, but yet and still you let your emotions hold sway over you far more than any abstract entity is capable of. Because she's not a cosmic entity, she's a storm god. And before you say, oh, gods shouldn't have emotions either, have you seen Zeus and Thor? Anyway, he brings Jalen up there, and she's like, look, there's been enough death today, Storm. And speaking of Zeus, we go back to the Pantheon, and he yells, enough. We need to make a decision. All in favor to take sides with the Storm Mutant of Earth? Nobody raises their hands except for Beta Ray Bill. All in favor to take sides with Haddock? And almost everybody else raises their hand, and Beta Ray Bill's like, madness! You've been spending too many centuries in exile drinking mead and wine because you guys are insane. He calls out a lot of guys, but in a nutshell, he pretty much says, you guys rather side with the destruction of the universe than try to save it. So American is just pissed because Eternity picks Storm to be his champion instead of one of them, which makes no sense because she's immortal. So then Susanu's talking about exerting pressure and heat, but in a nutshell, he's like, why don't we just have Haddock just destroy the universe, and from the ashes, we'll just build another one that's better than this one. All of a sudden, we see Beta Ray Bill hammer. It goes, levitate, fly, catch. And he goes, why don't I exert some pressure and heat to your face? All of a sudden, Beta Ray Bill's expression just changes out of nowhere. Because the Black Winter is here. And I guess it's already starting to affect the gods. Susanu's arms are just like crumbling because I guess he's infected. So to save him, American just cuts off his arms. So then the narration says, Haddock is no Widowmaker. He is no Orphan Maker. He steps into the universe, everybody dies. So then we cut to the 9-day hospital for the extra mundane in Arkansas, and we see Galactus and Silver Surfer just sitting outside of it. Like, that looks crazy. And we see a toe tag on Maggot because you know he dead. Like, he is dead. And we see surgeons working on Manifold, so I guess he got a shot, which I don't know how much of a shot, but I guess he got a shot. And we see Gateway watching everything. So Storm was up there with Gateway, and she's explaining how she fully admits that she's been neglecting her magic side. She should have been training more with Dr. Voodoo, with Wanda, with magic, and then something simple like Voodoo Dolls wouldn't have went down, and then Manifold and Maggot wouldn't be in the situation that they are right now. And if you want even more insight into this great series, then you should check out Black Comic Lords, because they actually have Murewa on as a regular guest, and he goes over all this stuff. So then Gateway's like, the present shapes the future as much as the past shapes the present. And he puts his hands on Storm's head and goes, shape a better future, Ororo Munroe. Shape a better universe. And we cut to the House of Ideas, where we see Eternity, and he's visiting the one above all. And he's pretty much like, look, I was going to take on Oblivion, but you know I am like Ophir when it comes to me and Oblivion going at it. So I knew I wasn't going to win. But then I find out that there's this storm god named Haddock, and he killed Oblivion. And if he killed Oblivion, then I can't handle this. So
Help me! Help me! Help me!
please. So then we cut to the white hot room where Krakoa is sitting in, and it's being attacked by the Black Winter, and the Phoenix has to show up and handle some business. Like, does Stephanie Phillips know about this? The Black Winter is also attacking the land of couldn't be, shouldn't be, and Wanda has to do her thing to try to keep it at bay. So I guess Infinity, whose avatar is Quasar, did not know that. She is going to handle the Black Winter, but she's like, hey, Galactus and Silver Surfer, and you know how I beat your guys' asses? Well, I need you guys to help me with this Black Winter thing. And let Storm know that she needs to deal with Haddock by herself. And that's why Murewa is going to be the next big writer in Marvel, because they just let that man use damn near everybody of importance in the Marvel Universe. From start to finish, this comic is a masterpiece. Support the comic industry by visiting your LCS. My name is Doran. This is SEO Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Storm. Number 12. Our story starts off, looks like in a swamp because there's a frog sitting on a lily pad. Then his mouth opens, and a hand comes through, then an arm. Then we see it is Dr. Voodoo, the Hongan Supreme, and he is facing down the butcher, Gore, the God Butcher. Which, I know you're like, when she's just in the Phoenix, didn't she just take care of him? She did. But if you look really carefully at him, it's not alive. It's also not alone because the Sentry's with him, and he looks dead as hell. And Gore pretty much tells Jericho Drum that even though he wants to help out Storm with Haddad, Death wants to have a word with him. We go to the Impossible City where we see Tony Stark left a message for Storm, which she probably won't get for a while. But there is crazy world about to end lightning going around all around the world. From Atlanta to the Storm Sanctuary to the factory in Alaska where the X-Men are playing a softball game or a baseball game. It's probably a softball game. And even in Louisiana where Uncanny X-Men are having a cookout. Everybody looks worried except one person. Rogue. She's still getting herself something to eat. She don't even look up at lightning because she goes, Storm got this. But then we cut to Earth's orbit 30 minutes ago where we see Storm confronting Haddad, who is standing on top of the Black Winter. And he goes, Host of Eternity, I am not a violent god. 30 minutes later, he is hitting Storm so hard that he broke her jaw. How do you know? Because as he's throwing a punch, it says Jawbreaker. We cut back 30 minutes ago and he says these hands have worked so many wonders. They perform miracles. And today, you will die by him. And then we cut back to present time where he is just abusing her. Punches her so hard that she goes flying away. So what I want to know is, what does he consider violent? So then he's like, my desires are many. Watching you die like an animal, not knowing why you're being put down, is not one of them. As Storm is just coughing up blood. So he grabs his spear and he goes, the entities love to hear themselves speak. Seems like so to you because all you're doing is talking. He throws the spear. Storm tries to put up an ice wall to block it. It goes right through the wall and then right through her shoulder. So obviously Storm is screaming in pain. Haddad cracks his neck and goes, are you crying? Where's this dude from? Like having a spear in your shoulder? What's that supposed to do? Tickle? So then he explains how he used to be Attorney's avatar too. How she has no idea about the power she's wielding right now. How he took that power and not only did he dominate it, but he beat up on the living tribunal and waged war against the one above all. And that the only reason why anybody is going to remember this battle is because of how weak she is. So now we cut to the House of Ideas where Eternity is meeting with the one above all. Now, I didn't read Fantastic Four 511 when Fantastic Four actually talked to the one above all, which I think he was appearing as Jack Kirby. I didn't read the Infinity finale where Adam Warlock and Thanos talked to the one above all. I believe that's when Thanos had a harder universe. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I am. And I didn't read Defenders number 5 where Adam Brashear, Blue Marvel, talked to one above all. So this is a first for me. Now, if you watch Phoenix number 15, you can kind of tell I'm kind of over these cosmic entities. And I was about to put the one above all in the same category because it sounds like he was talking about both sides of his mouth. But then I realized I need to quit thinking of him as a cosmic entity or, the one true God. Because he's not talking like that. He's talking like something else, which makes sense. So he starts off by saying that he wishes that he created his children to require substance, just like the humans, so that he can offer eternity something more than just his uninvited attention. So then he lets Eternity know that he was always a superior creator. So then Eternity, finally eating some humble pie, is like, yeah, well, I'm so good at creating that I created Hadad, and right now he's pretty much threatening all of existence, including myself. And one above all goes, all great creators fear the power of their creations. That kind of feels right out of Frankenstein. I could be wrong, but that's what I took from it. So then the one above all is like, you make beings that surpass you in strength and wisdom. Some of your creations even found their way here, which those are the 3 instances I just told you about. So then one above all is like, all right, let's cut to the chase. Why are you here? So then Eternity kneels. How do you know? Because it said he kneels. And he pretty much says that he needs the one above all to stop Hadad because he cannot. So then the one above all starts to mock Eternity. He's like, I have come to bargain for the fate of the universe, Father. Ain't that what you said to me when you came up here and interrupted my work? Which, what work is he doing? Like, I want to know what the hell the one above all's work is. Please let me know, Murewa. What the hell does the one above all do all day? Besides talk to his kids. Even though this kid, he deserves it. So then the one above all is like, what do you even have to bargain with? Like, what possession do you have that I will want? That's like me saying, hey, I want to bargain with you, Bill Gates. And Bill Gates looking like, I got everything. So then he's like, you caused the slaughter of Oblivion, my first son. What makes you think you deserve a speck of my compassion? And then Attorney's like, I'm your son too. Sounds just like a poem. So the one above all pretty much tells him that he is everything that is good in this universe, but he is also everything that is bad. So whatever Eternity is standing in is starting to rise. It looks like water, but who knows what it is. And he's starting to get scared. So instead of taking responsibility like he's supposed to, instead, he does what all weak people do. Starts blaming others. And he's like, this is all Oblivion's fault. I had his twin sister deaf and he wanted her back. So then one above all is like, so you trying to tell me that you have your twin sister Infinity and you can talk to her whenever you want to, but as soon as Oblivion wants to talk to his twin sister, oh, that's a problem now, right? And because Oblivion whoops your ass every time, and I mean every time, you went ahead and you disobeyed me and you brung Abraxas into the equation to try to get rid of Oblivion, which caused him to bring in Hadad, and then Hadad is uncontrollable and took him out. But this ain't your fault, right? I don't even have time to grieve for Oblivion. Like, do you want me to just bring in my desires, my fury? He's talking about the one below all. That's right. Shout out to Al Healing. I guess that is another instance where one above all actually showed up in Immortal Hulk number 50. So then the one above all is like, order and chaos understand each other's roles, and they find balance. You two, you just want to end each other. And Hadad is about to make that happen. So then we cut back to Earth, where the Black Winter is pretty much talking all kinds of mess to Storm, as he's like, you have been defeated by the first storm god Hadad. I am the Black Winter. I am going to devour your universe. Know me, know your ender. All of a sudden, all this lightning comes crashing down around the Black Winter Hadad. Hadad turns around and goes Asgardian. And we see his Beta Ray Bill, and he is on some kind of serpent dragon, and he's like, behold, I have come, the serpent storm god. And the serpent shoots a beam at Hadad. Hadad ate that, jumps up in the air, and does an immortal axe kick and knocks the bejesus out of Beta Ray Bill. And then he does a roundhouse kick to Beta Ray Bill's face that sends him flying. I mean, if he was in America, he'd be in the next county. Unfortunately, there's a mountain that pretty much stopped Beta Ray Bill from going any further. And then he creates a blast that freezes both Beta Ray Bill and the serpent that he was riding on. So the storm comes and tries to ambush Hadad, but Hadad sees her, grabs her by the throat, and just holds her in the air, which I still want to know how her jaw got fixed. And then they're using their storm powers as they send lightning through their eyes, and at first it seems to be evenly matched, even though this fight has not been evenly matched. So then we go back to the House of Ideas. And Attorney looks like he's leaving. And then one of them all is like, hold on for a second. Being a creator's hard. I should know. The fear and hate that you have for her dad is immeasurable. You sense his approach and see a reflection of everything you despise about yourself. If only you had an equal amount of respect and trust for the creation who bleeds to preserve your life despite your cruelty. You could never beat oblivion. But yet something that you made did the impossible. A word of advice from a creator. Love your creations as I love you. Even though he is a one above all, the way he's written here, he's just a parent. Like, he's a parent. Like, he loves his creations. He gets pissed off and disappointed in them, but he's still down for them. So then out of nowhere, Eternity shows back up as Storm. She becomes the Eternal Storm again, and she hits Haddad with an immortal head smash and sends him flying. Infinity senses that her brother's back, so now she's alright again, because before she was all messed up. That's why Storm beat the hell out of her. So Storm's like, alright, we're going to do this again. We're going to do this my way. This is my body. Alright? You can enhance me, but you can't control me. So whatever I do is what I do, not what you do. And Eternity's like, agreed. So the Eternity's like, look, I can get my sister, the Never Queen, and the Phoenix Force to come help us. And Storm's like, there's no need to get them involved. I'm about to end this battle right now. Storm jumps on him, and when I mean she beat his ass, she beat his ass. I mean, his face is done. Missing teeth and everything. So then Haddad starts talking mess about the cosmic entities, and he's like, our lives are but parchments, comical books in their endless libraries. Our suffering and our tribulations are mere amusement for them to marvel at. I see what you're doing there, Murewa. That was pretty good. So then Eternity, being Eternity, just can't be trusted. It's just one of them all told you to do something, and he just can't listen. He takes over Storm, he takes some lightning, and he stabs the bejesus out of Haddad until he is dead against Storm's wishes, because Storm did not want to kill Haddad. So right after that, Eternity just leaves, and Storm just goes, never again. Never will I trust the universe. Because me personally, Eternity. Like, between the Phoenix book and this book, like, Eternity is just an asshole. He has become my least favorite character. But then we cut to a royal palace, the realm of Mistress Death, where she has Dr. Voodoo all chained up, and she's pretty much telling him that he is about to become her avatar of death because her brother Oblivion is dead, and she needs to get some revenge. And she's going to use the Marvel zombies to do it. Like, damn, Murewa, you didn't even give us a second to breathe before you got the next thing that's about to pop off. And as much as I am excited about Age of Revelation, I hope it ends quickly so we can get right back to whatever Mistress Death is about to bring upon the Marvel Universe. But speaking of the Age of Revelation, Murewa is bringing us Rogue Storm, where Storm goes crazy and is pretty much threatening to create an ice age upon the world. And the only way to stop her is for Rogue to create an X-Force team to take Storm out. Kill Storm. Like, I know this is Age of Revelation, but that might be the best book in the whole series. We'll find out.